Okay, that sums up all the top headlines that we've been tracking from the broader end of the market early this morning. But shifting focus now, let's start talking to the managements that we've lined up on the show. It's time for corporate conversations. First up, we've got the management of Jammu and Kashmir Bank, J&K Bank, joining us on the show. Mr. Amitava Chatterjee, the managing director and CEO at J&K Bank, joining us on the show. Mr. Chatterjee, hi, morning. Before we talk about anything else, big positive coming in for your company. You've passed the historic milestone by surpassing 3 trillion plus business in the last quarter. Talk to us about what has led to you surpassing this significant milestone and what is the growth roadmap for the company ahead.
Very good morning, and thank you for having me here. Of course, it's a very significant milestone that the bank has achieved. And more significant is the fact that the last 1 trillion has come in a very quick time. Perhaps around 8 to 9 quarters, we have achieved the last 1 trillion. So that shows that the business focus that we have in the bank is very, very stable. And the strategy that we have to grow both in Jammu and Kashmir as well as the rest of India, where we are present in 22 states and union territories, that is coming off well. And the business mix is at the moment in a very, very good shape, I would say. So both deposits and advances have shown pretty good growth YOY.
Right. Mr. Chatterjee, let's also talk about the advances and deposit growth that you've reported for the first quarter of FY27. And you had guided for disciplined 12 to 15% credit growth, but advances grew by about 26% YOY and about 4.5% sequentially, nearly double the upper end of your guidance. Is this a conscious strategic shift or front-loaded growth that will perhaps normalize by the end of this fiscal? And would you like to revise your guidance, whether on the advances front or on the deposits front?
I had spoken about this at the end of the last quarter of last financial year. The guidance that we had given was primarily based on the global situation that was there. We actually started a very strong business journey last financial year. And I would say that it has continued for this financial year as well. And definitely, I had also said that I would like to revise my guidance. So now I believe that more than 15% YOY growth in advances is something which is definitely on the cards. And in deposits, I would like to have a growth plus 12% for the year. So that is what I believe is now very much possible, since the business scenario in Jammu and Kashmir has improved a lot compared to last year. Last year was very, very difficult since almost more than 60% business of our bank is in Jammu and Kashmir, and last year was very tough. In spite of that, we had a fair bit of growth even in Jammu and Kashmir, and a major part of the growth had come from rest of India. This year, the business scenario in Jammu and Kashmir is much better than last year. The tourism has picked up. Horticulture is likely to pick up. Our retail and agri growth has picked up already, and MSME also. So I believe that plus 15%, maybe 17 to 18% growth is something which is very much on the cards this year.
Okay, so those are some of the growth metrics that you're penciling in for your advances and deposits, Mr. Chatterjee. What about CASA recovery? You had called CASA recovery the biggest watch point for FY27, but 1 quarter in, CASA ratio has fallen to 42%. It's been a cut of about 350 points on a sequential basis and year on year. How do we read into this? What's the outlook on CASA recovery?
What is happening in the industry at the moment is a very strong shift from the depositors, shift from CASA to fixed deposits as well as mutual funds and capital markets. So that is an industry phenomena. While we started a very strong campaign last quarter of last financial year, which is continuing. And if you look at the quantum of CASA that has improved YOY, that is almost 7.5%. I believe that we will be able to, the ratio has gone down because the fixed deposits grew by almost 20%. So that is, of course, that is not specific to J&K Bank. That's an industry phenomena at the moment. In fact, if you consider the overall deposit growth, we have done pretty well, better than many banks, I would say. But then the focus on CASA is still there, and we have an advantage. A very, very loyal deposit franchisee and CASA franchisee in Jammu and Kashmir, which we have already started leveraging. I believe that going forward in the second quarter, or maybe by the end of third quarter, you will notice a definite shift to upward shift towards the CASA ratio.
Understood. So that's the view coming in with respect to CASA. But Mr. Chatterjee, also wanted your thoughts on the trajectory that we are likely to see for net interest margins going forward, given the macro environment that we are in currently. What will the trend look like for the rest of this year?
See, this year, definitely, since our focus is more on retail this time, and the business in Jammu and Kashmir is almost normal. So I am very sure that the NIM will be on the upward trajectory for this year. Although there is a pressure on the cost of deposits and the CASA ratio, but still the CASA ratio remaining above 42%, I believe that the net interest margin will be somewhere around 3.7 to 3.8.
And Mr. Chatterjee, you had said earlier that benign credit costs and high PCR should remain your profitability cushions going ahead. Are you comfortable on both those metrics?
Yes, the credit portfolio remains very, very stable and very. In fact, I don't see any stress in any of the segments that we have at the moment. And recovery and improvement in the overall NPA position continues. You will notice while going forward this year, we will further, and we have a guidance for reducing the NPA further. So it is going to reduce, because even in the first quarter, I have not seen any kind of major slippages or any kind of stress in any of the segments.
Mr. Chatterjee, you did talk about the fact that you've crossed that 3 trillion business mark at the start of the interview, and now the target is 5 trillion by 2030. Is it on track, and are you expecting that target to be achieved much before the 2030 guideline that you had earlier shared with your investors?
Absolutely. You have hit the nail. It is definitely going to come much before 2030. How much before that, at the moment, I'm not in a position to tell you, but this will happen much before 2030. That I'm sure of.
Okay, Mr. Chatterjee, that sounds really good. In fact, that's what we wanted to hear. So on that note, we'll wind up this conversation on that positive note. Thank you so much for your time. So yes, the Vision 2030 may well be achieved before 2030. That is the word coming in from the management of J&K Bank, along with the guidance that NIMs will be in the range of 3.7 to 3.8 for FY27, and deposit growth will be around 12%, advances to grow 15% for FY27. Sounding good there, Mr. Chatterjee. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.